Hi guys, what's up? Welcome to the channel. My name is Jared. Today we're going to be doing some work on my EG Civic. We've got some new headers to install, which I've picked up from Elusive Racing in Melbourne. I did pick these up about a year ago at the end of financial year sale back last year, and I've had them sitting in the car since then while I was trying to sort out the misfire issue. Now that it's running again and we're going to head back to the dyno, we're going to get these ones installed on the car, and I think there's going to be a little bit of cutting and changing here to get these new ones to fit. So these are the new headers. These are made by PLM, and these are like a ram horn or twisted high mount style, as you can see here. These also, to note, are a 4:1, and this goes into a 70mm pipe. It's got two bungs here for wideband sensors or any other sort of EGT sensor you want to put in there. They are a slip fit with a bolt in there. When I got it, I really struggled to get them together, and I had the guys at Elusive actually fit them because all of these pipes were out in kind of different positions. The initial look at them, the welding is quite good. The fitment is pretty good, and I even noticed inside the runners they've actually ported them out, which is a nice touch. They are made in China, but this is definitely better quality than some of the other stuff I've seen. And I noticed as well the sanding marks on this flange, so it looks like they've actually flattened the flange off too. The welds on here look really nice as well. It comes with a new donut which can go on there, and it also comes with a multi-layer, but in this case only 2-layer steel gasket for there as well, which is a nice touch. For reference, this is what we have on the car at the moment, which is I think a Mugen copy, even though it is made in Japan. It says Jasma on it. It is a Mugen copy. And what separates this one apart is the first runner is a lot shorter when it gets to the merge. And as you can see here, two merge together, and they call this a 4:2:1. And the other one which I showed you is a 4:1. So why would you choose the 4:2:1 over the 4:1 style? Well, this style of header gives you more middle range torque or mid-range torque, whereas a 4:1 gives you more peak power, and you may lose a bit of low down torque, whereas these ones are going to sacrifice a little bit of the top end power, but possibly not. We'll have to see what happens on the dyno. One thing I wasn't too keen on this design is this runner here has a very tight radius where it comes out compared to the other three. That's just to make them all equal length. This style has a much longer primary runner to where it meets, and all of this twisting here is just to make sure that each of the runner is in fact the same length, so that way you don't get any sort of bad scavenging effect on this. The other reason I wanted to go with that header is, as you can see here, I got a lot of space either for a header or a turbo to fit there. So I wanted something that was going to take up a little bit more area there. And this one, as you can see here, it is a lot wider. So if you do have this, you can't run a full-size radiator. So I'm going to start off by removing these bolts holding the flange on, and also undoing the 2-bolt flange where it meets the cat underneath. So I took off the 2-bolt flange underneath, and I'm ready to take the headers out the top. It's easier on the bench now to understand the design. So as you can see, the 4, the 2, and it goes into 2 pipes, and then goes into the 1, which is meets quite a bit further along. So these new headers don't have a flex joint in there, so we're going to have to put one probably just after the headers in that pipe there. So I just want to get this up on the engine and see how it fits, whether it can come up through the top or whether it needs to go through the bottom. I think possibly if I didn't have this oil cooler and also the traction bar there, it might be possible to bring it up from the top. But it looks like we're going to have to separate in half and then probably put the top bit in through the top here and then put in the bottom pipe underneath. So I did manage to fit it through the top and there was enough room, like just, so it wasn't too bad. But I'm liking how that looks. It has filled out a lot more of that area. Looks like the dipstick's still going to go in. Might be a little bit difficult here maybe to get some of these on, but I still think it's possible. That's probably the hardest one there just because of the angle, but these other ones are pretty straightforward. So next I got to try and work out to get that on from the bottom. These bolts here, which came with the kit, weren't long enough to fit through there, and I pretty much hammered it together as much as I could. I even used a hammer with an extension on the end there, but they weren't quite long enough. So I went to Bunnings and just bought these M6 by 75 bolts. Probably could have used 70. And I just used these to pull it together with the nut and bolt. And now it's together enough, I can go and switch it out for these ones with the flange bolts. So the manifold's now bolted up to the engine, and when you're tightening that up, you want to make sure that you tighten it from the middle out in kind of a circular pattern. So that one, that one, that one, this one, this one, that one, that one, that one, and then that one in a circular counterclockwise or clockwise fashion, it doesn't really matter. Also with this gasket, note that it has to go on the right way around, which I had a problem with. This hole in the corner is different to that hole in the corner. See, that one's further down and this one's further up, so if you put it the wrong way around, the corner too won't bolt up. Next step for me at least is we got to modify this pipe. So with the new exhaust, this flange is not the right orientation, and the new downpipe also does not have a flex joint in it. So I'm going to kind of kill two birds with one stone. I'm just going to cut this in half, then we can rotate both ends. You can slip this in, add the flex joint, and we can also extend it at the same time, and it'll be easier to weld up. The stock exhaust does come with this donut, which is designed for stock Honda system. So if you have an original Honda system, you're going to use this with your normal exhaust, but I've been using these 2-bolt flanges like this. One downside is this is a 2.5 inch flange, but the new pipe is 70 mil, which is slightly larger. Sorry about the angle, but as you can see here, we got this piece of pipe protruding out the end where the donut would sit, but my flange is going to sit flush on this, so we're going to have to go and cut this off and grind it flat and then mate it up to the other end there. So that's pretty much what I was talking about. Just cut it in the middle. I took 1 inch off and then these two bits slipped into there. Now I can actually adjust the length as well. I can slide this in and out, and we can rotate the flange to line up with the new downpipe. That's it, welded up, and I just threw some high temp black on it so it matches the rest of the exhaust. So now I just got to bolt it in.
my best runs of original burgers now.
Oh my god, you finished?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe it.
Original, you mean like last time
Yeah,
I was here?
116 best result from before all the weirdness started.
Yeah. So down the bottom was better.
Like real bottom,
Yeah.
a little mid, and then like high.
Yeah.
I mean, this is where our vtec changing point, which is obviously was here to here. That's the biggest change.
We're not revving it as high this time.
It's rolling over.
Yeah.
So it's already rolling. It's rolling over. Yeah.
Okay. So actually, these headers don't have more. Well, they have more top end, but not tippy top end.
Peak. Yeah.
Alright guys, that wraps up this video. So finally, we got the car running again. Massive thanks to Trent at Chequered Tuning. If anyone is in Melbourne, Victoria area and they're looking to get their car tuned, I highly recommend you go see Trent. It was super helpful and super quick. We sorted everything out pretty quickly. And I'm happy also with the new headers, that they made a difference, and it's a bit strange to me they picked up bottom end and top end power, which was interesting. I was thinking we were going to have to sacrifice the little bottom end to get some on the top, but looks like it's worked out. We made 1 extra kilowatt in the very top, but a lot more in the mid-range, and also really happy with how the headers look, and they have like a nice golden color to them now. So it's going to be it for tuning the Civic for a while now. We do have a couple small videos coming up, but nothing power related, nothing dyno related. And then after that, we're going to enjoy the Civic for a bit and then maybe think about getting it painted. If you have any questions about this video, put them down below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.